When Duvall said he's a black man at the college, that he knew Bush had started AIDS and supports him for it. I'm very sorry to testify that he probably either knew that or really sincerely believed that. And it underscores something that I have tried to bring to the attention of my peers, which is that Pitt and Peter Gabriel tried to establish an honor code that justified the AIDS attack. And in its place, they also said anyone who repudiates that honor code is therefore honor bound to cater to victims that they had no role in creating. And it was an involuntary mechanism of public service they called the buddy system. Now, I know that many people do not abandon their peers in sickness or in health. Others have other things that they have as priorities. There was no honor in the attack, and it can't be made honorable by serving those who did it. And it can't be made honorable by saying that somebody is an infidel, infidelitus. Which brings me to one of the operations of the Central Planners. The Israeli Defense Forces in Pittsburgh included a man named Adam Eisenstadt. He went on KDKA radio, disguised his voice as a Palestinian, called himself Abdul the terrorist, and said no one is innocent. And I don't know whether the talk show host was fooled or facilitating this performance, but he was outraged and shocked and made various accusations. This man, Adam Eisenstadt, is a ghostwriter for Donald Trump. So maybe he's the Abdul that Choon refers to in one of his talks, but America doesn't have the right to defend themselves from Israel. When John Schulman, whose employee was a close associate who would appear at Adam Eisenstadt's house, was arrested for ripping off the museums, he got house arrest. $6 million, they said, because 6 million is the sort of Django that says, I'll be lenient, he's a Jew. And you can't reason with any of that. The way Congress imposed its legislation to say that anyone who is anti-Zionism is inherently anti-Semitic was put in the straitjacket. If somebody asks you, are you anti-Semitic, and you say no, they say, good, that means you're pro-Zionist, and you have to be Houdini to get out of it. Best you can offer is sarcastically say, yeah, I'm anti-Semitic, man. Anybody who is insubordinate to Israel, they will begin shooting at. The fact that my father put up a billboard that said, kick me, a human rights program in the 1940s meant that it was open season on me, especially because he abandoned me to a Pittsburgh public school. The Pittsburgh public school are a ludicrous albatross of pornographers who probably draw straws for who gets to control children like me. I was attacked, terrorized, kidnapped, abducted, gassed. A bag was put over my face with a poor man's ether. I was tortured, pedophiled, and used. And when I tried to encapsulate that as being kidnapped and tortured as a child, I was told by the NAACP, "You're not special." So Americans don't have a special relationship with their children. They have a special relationship with Attica State Prison wardens working with King Crimson on pornographic genocide in a place called Mount Desert Island. That's obvious. That's basic. Run it by your local sheriff. He'll shrug, say groan, and say, "Oh, we know all about it." So when I say I stand with Gaza, I also stand with the rave scene, the supernova rave. It was the swashbuckling dacoits of leapfrog oligarchy, the kingpin godfathers who put together this extermination systematic from the chessboard in the room behind the revolving bookshelf. Yeah, my lunch situation is militarized, literally. Past assault is interpreted. I tell somebody I admire that they're a great hero, and they run it through their phobias. Was I suggesting something? And this all comes from Beetletronics, an island of military abhorrence. Beetles are abhorrent militarists. And there's nothing um, idealistic, there's nothing naive, there's nothing speculative, neoliberal about saying it's wrong to bomb school buses and murder school bus drivers in retirement. There's nothing blasphemous against the church in saying it is wrong to bomb children in school buses. And yet, the University of Pittsburgh construes it as some sort of sacrilege against the nature of reality because of their Zionist mafia. To ask who goes there in neurobehavioral research, who goes there in the museum thieves working with Donald Trump, who goes there when they scribble "don't know who" on your father's obituary. And it's cahooters. Biden and Trump are a tag team, slapping five at the David, Jeff, and Barber shop. They're playing a Warpo World game of Stratego through domination of our feedback systems and willingness to discuss things. There was a surgeon on television from Gaza who said, "I'm not accustomed to talking to journalists, but I can tell you that the reason I often don't have questions put to me about what really happened is because no one can argue with my experience. People do not want to know." Do I dare you to fact check what I said about Abdul? Sure, go ahead, fact check it. I throw myself at the mercy of the gates of hell if any of that is not true. It is confirmed and verifiable as reality as the Zell spoke is reported. And these bozos of public mentality construe a man who lauds, L-A-U-D-S, Goebbels, as a Jewish Defense League undercover detective. It's the whole essence of Peter Gabriel's justification for torturing me when no one even accused me of any of the things that he used to justify it. He just made it up with a spinner beanie and executed the entertainment aspect of a pornographic genocide. Just played madman.